North Korea is expected to make another attempt to launch a satellite this month. Joining me now, Alistair Gale, Seoul Bureau Chief. Alistair, the last unsuccessful launch was last April. Any indication of whether or not North Korea has the capabilities to launch a satellite soon?
Well, that's the big question. I mean, what they say is that they've examined what went wrong in the failed April launch, and they feel confident that this time around they'll get it right. Now, this would be the fifth time that they've tried to launch a satellite, and they've not been successful in any of the other previous attempts. The fact that they're trying again so soon after the April launch raises questions about whether they really have worked out what went wrong. Of course, the technology there is not really state of the art. They don't have access to, the same kind of knowledge that you would do in the West. But of course, launching a rocket for anyone is a difficult job, as the South Koreans will tell you, because they haven't been able to successfully launch a rocket or a satellite any time.
Okay, and could the fact that South Korea is about to hold its presidential election on December 19th, could the timing of this launch have to do with what's going on in Seoul?
Sure. Well, that's the speculation here that, North Korea has a track record of trying to influence the elections here in the South. We have a presidential poll here on the 19th of this month. So, the main parties have already said that this looks like another attempt by the North to influence voters. I mean, there are other things going on this month. It's the anniversary of the death of Kim Jong-il, the former ruler of North Korea. So another way of looking at this is it's part of the celebrations, if you like, of the one-year anniversary since his demise. We also have an election going on in Japan. So, there are various theories about why the North Koreans are doing it now. The truth is that no one really knows.
Okay, and obviously an attempt like this will make a lot of people in the international community upset, from Seoul, as we just talked about, to Washington, to Tokyo for that matter. What's the reaction been, and is anyone at all trying to dissuade Pyongyang from doing this?
Well, the sort of fairly uniform reaction has been that this is a bad idea. The State Department in the U.S. has put out a statement saying that they want the North Koreans to scrap the plans. It's the same message here in Seoul. It's the same message in Tokyo. China has just said that they appeal for calm, as they tend to do in these kind of situations. So the general international message is this is seen as not so much as a satellite launch, but another attempt by North Korea to test its missile technology, which would be in violation of UN sanctions. So broadly, the message is don't do it, but I think there's a fairly slim chance that the North Koreans will pay any attention to that.
Okay, and Alistair, they made quite a public display of the last launch, inviting a lot of foreign journalists in to witness the launch site. Any indication as to whether or not they will do so again?
Well, of course, they sort of, the last launch didn't go so well, so they may be thinking twice about having journalists on the ground there. But we don't know yet. There's no indication that they will let journalists from overseas into the country. I'm sure many people will want to go there. But the fact was that the last launch, the people that were in the country were some of the last to know that the rocket had actually gone up and had exploded shortly after takeoff. It was those of us that were outside the country that found out first. So there's, of course, a limited merit to being there in the country. But we'll have to wait and see whether they invite journalists in this time.
Okay, and it is also, mistakes do also make neighbors nervous as well. Thanks very much, Alistair, joining us from Seoul. For more on that story, you can go to WSJ.com. I'm Deborah Kahn for the Wall Street Journal Digital Network.